And joining us on the phone now from Citizen Radio, it's one of the co-hosts and also contributing writer to The Nation, Allison Kilkenny. Allison, thank you for joining us. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on 1 minute. Let's start from the beginning. Joining us now on the phone from Citizen Radio and contributing writer for The Nation, ladies and gentlemen, Allison Kilkenny. Allison, thank you so much for joining us. Hello, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I aspire to be Sam one day, so I can not do my own podcast and just have other people guest host it.
Oh. And let them deal and let them deal with the tech issues you leave behind.
God, poor guys. I felt so bad, but thank you for making it work. I'm glad I get stuck.
If it was anyone else, maybe I would have been like, Michael, bring my volume up a bit. If it was anyone else, maybe I would have been like, you know what, we'll just have to cancel. But I had to persist that we do this for Allison Kilkenny. All right, so I
appreciate it.
Thanks, Allison.
Let's get right to it. So, Allison, you wrote this great piece for the Nation called "Occupy Activists' New Fight for Regulation, Affordable Housing, and Social Justice." And in it, you basically talk with a bunch of different Occupy, side up what was originally, occupied all these working groups, and then these working groups basically broke off, and it seems like they've each turned into their own full-fledged activist group.
Yes, that's right. And one of the central criticisms of Occupy Wall Street, remember, was that they were too scattered, too disorganized, they weren't focused enough. But ironically, these working groups that are doing really focused work right now aren't receiving a lot of media attention. So they finally are doing what everyone wanted them to, and suddenly the media is not interested anymore.
Of course.
So the two groups that I focus on, there are so many great subgroups doing work, and this was by no means meant to represent all of them, but Occupy the SEC and Occupy Our Homes are both doing amazing work, and also there's another group that I didn't get to profile just because of a length issue, but Strike Debt is doing amazing work too. But Occupy the SEC are involved in court cases, very specific things. And it's a very wonky group. It's extremely focused. It involves people who really know their stuff, forwards and backwards. And really the media isn't paying attention to them. And then there's the direct action arm of Occupy Our Homes, where they're physically keeping people in their homes, people that would have been kicked out by the bank.
Let's pause for a second. Let's discuss, actually. I want to sort of go into each one a little bit. So let's first discuss what Occupy the SEC is up to, because like you said, they seem to be the wonkier branch of the Occupy movement, and what they're doing is really interesting. I mean, if you want to see actual results from action, I guess people, critics of Occupy constantly on that front have complained. I mean, I see it from Occupy the SEC. You can see what they're doing, physically see what they've put together.
I think the reason people sort of space out with Occupy the SEC is it's super wonky stuff.
Yeah.
So, for example, they recently submitted an amicus brief in the Supreme Court's consolidated choice cases that basically it's based on the massive Ponzi scheme perpetrated by Alan Stanford and relates to the complicity of third parties like auditors and law firms in abetting fraud. So that's, one thing they're working on. But I think if you start to, say that, people sort of get, their eyes start to glaze over, But there's another one where they filed a lawsuit in the Eastern District of New York against 6 federal agencies over their delay in implementing a final rulemaking in connection with the Volcker rule. This is basically just a specific section of Dodd-Frank meant to restrict the banks from making certain kinds of really shady investments that don't benefit customers. So this was just them saying, hey, you're supposed to be doing this right now. This was actually implemented as stop another meltdown, and you're not doing the thing they passed. One of the minor things they passed not to let this happen again, and you're not even doing that. So Occupy the SEC has sort of become a watchdog group. They really know finance, and they really understand the laws, and they're basically watching these huge financial firms just saying, are you doing even the little things that you're supposed to be doing right now? And if you're not, we're going to, try to create a lawsuit against you or participate in a lawsuit that already is standing against you. And this is all happening in courtrooms, and it's really not receiving media attention.
Mm. Well, of course. I mean, apparently, unless you're camped out in a park, apparently the media doesn't pay attention to you.
Yeah, and it's very ironic, and like having covered it from the beginning, it's like you sort of are, frustrated on behalf of the protesters because I heard so many times, like, why don't they get serious about like specific legislation? Why don't they get more focused in their approach? And it's like the second they did that, it sort of seemed to lose its romantic general appeal for the media. The media loved it when it was just like a revolution, right?
Yeah.
They were like, they couldn't get enough of
the criticism,
really sexy to them.
The criticism in that aspect is sort of like, why isn't this protest group like all the other protest groups? Like, why aren't this activist group doing what all the other activist groups do? I mean, that's why they got the media attention. Yeah, because they weren't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but what's really ironic about that is if the media wants that direct action appeal, like if they really like the dramatics of people getting arrested, follow Occupy Our Homes. There was just a bunch of them just got arrested in Washington, D.C. They were down the street from Covington and Burling, and they were arrested for blocking, a revolving door. And there were women and grandmothers getting arrested. It was, like, super dramatic. And again, like, media was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about Occupy Our Homes now. I mean, if there's any group out there that's, I mean, to me, what they do is actually, at least in the short term, more important than whatever the critics of Occupy Wall Street were looking for Occupy to do. I mean, Occupy Our Homes is literally saving people's homes. They're literally stopping these people from becoming homeless. They're stopping their homes from being foreclosed on and taken away from them. Like, literally, physically stopping it from happening. And there are people who are still living in their houses because of Occupy Our Homes. And if not because of Occupy Our Homes directly, because of what Occupy Our Homes is doing to try to teach the direct action and how to do this yourself.
Yeah. So if Occupy the SEC isn't your thing, if it's too cerebral and you're like, yeah, but what is Occupy doing on the ground?
That's totally me, by the way.
The examples I always give are Occupy Our Homes and Occupy Sandy. And Occupy Sandy was another great offshoot of Occupy Wall Street that sort of filled this vacuum when FEMA and the Red Cross were nowhere to be found after Hurricane Sandy in New York City. Occupy Sandy stepped in and did really meaningful, on-the-ground, tangible things to help people, to the point where Michael Bloomberg, the National Guard, and the third person, the New York Times, actually had to acknowledge that, Occupy Sandy had done good work, and I know they really hated having to admit that, but, like, it was universally accepted that Occupy Sandy did good things. And Occupy Our Homes, sort of similarly to Occupy the SEC, has been working diligently. These great organizers have been working for 2 years, longer than that, because they have been doing this stuff before Occupy Wall Street. But like Atlanta and Minnesota are two of the biggest examples where, in Atlanta especially, they've racked up multiple victories with individual homeowners, including Jacqueline Barber, retired police detective and cancer survivor, who's facing eviction. They kept her in her home, and that's just like there's so many examples. Occupy Our Homes is really offshoot from like there's so much happening. I can't even like begin to summarize it.
So much for the meme that Occupy lost its direction and just became an anti-police movement with that one. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've heard another story about them saving former police officers' houses before.
Yeah. I mean, just to give you another example, Occupy Homes Minnesota, also another chapter that's won multiple victories. They kept Rose McGee, who's a community advocate who was fighting Fannie Mae for a year and was finally able to get a victory when she got the backing of Occupy Minnesota. And it included a principal reduction. So that in that case, it was actually the bank saying, like, doing what you think the bank would want to do in every case, which is we're still going to take payments from you, so we're still going to get money, but we're going to negotiate with you so you can stay in your house versus we're going to kick you out of the house and not get any money. Like, it made sense for Rose, but it also made sense for the bank.
Oh, of course, yeah. It's amazing to me. Let's before I get to that, let's just quickly a little bit more about Occupy Sandy. I mean, they literally were in these areas that were destroyed by Hurricane Sandy when Red Cross and FEMA were nowhere to be found. I mean, the fact that you have people like Mayor Bloomberg having to even mention that Occupy Sandy was helpful. I mean, that in itself should speak volumes.
Yeah, it was a really amazing moment, and Occupy Sandy was a little criticized by like other organizers because they had all of this amazing popular support and momentum, and they were being good people, and they were actually being very classy. But what ended up happening was they didn't really advertise that this was an Occupy Wall Street thing. They were just handing out supplies, they were handing out blankets, they were helping people, but they weren't saying, like, brought to you by Occupy. So a lot of people really never associated them with it, and I think they lost a little bit of, even though Michael Bloomberg was like, this is amazing, thanks for doing this, it seemed like a scattered group of individuals who just decided to come together in the wake of a storm, and that's really what it was. But it was also Occupy Sandy. I mean, this was an Occupy Wall Street thing. And I don't think a lot of people understood that that's what it was. And then also they had problems, sort of moving from a direct action on the ground thing to like a political movement. And they tried. There were a couple of protests, outside Mayor Bloomberg's East Side townhouse in order to call attention to hurricane-ravaged areas, still waiting for vital repairs. But it never really picked up the same amount of momentum that Occupy Wall Street did, and that might be because New York City was just, in chaos. I mean, the poor areas were after Hurricane Sandy, and it was just not the right environment for a movement like that. But it petered out. It never really became, and they were trying to figure out can this be a climate change thing? Can this be, a Tale of Two Cities thing where we bring attention to poverty and the fact that, poor people still don't have their lights on, but Wall Street's power came back on within hours?
Yeah, certain areas were just ignored for people who aren't aware. Just certain areas were just they weren't even part of the city, even though they obviously are. I mean, it's just nothing there for them there was no action done by the city or Red Cross or FEMA for areas like the Rockaways and parts of Brooklyn, Staten Island.
Yeah, and I should mention Occupy Sandy. It's still doing, charity work right now. I just got an email from them about their update, their 2-year update. But there's still ravaged areas of the city that still need help, and Occupy Sandy is still there, and the Red Cross and FEMA are not there. So this is still happening.
And I want to get to one that you did not get a chance to mention in your article. I think I saw that you said that they just didn't get back to you in time for the article's run. But strike debt, the Rolling Jubilee.
Yes. So the Rolling Jubilee is, again, part of being an activist group is you have to capture the imagination of the people. And the Rolling Jubilee is really brilliant because I think it's a really easy to understand concept for people where essentially when you have debt, that debt can be sold on something that's pretty much like a black market, and people can buy your debt and sell it for a much higher price. So the Rolling Jubilee was Strike Debt's way to say, okay, we're going to participate in this market, and we're going to raise money from people, and we're going to take that money and buy a whole lot more debt with it. So, for example, they've raised $615,000, and they've been able to purchase $12 million worth of debt, and then they abolish it. They turn around and they burn it. And then they, contact people, and they, give them the notice where they say, that money you owed, it's gone. Occupy Wall Street, Strike Debt took care of it. And this is really, kind of a Robin Hood thing, right? When you get a notice like that in the mail, it's holy crap, you can do that, And I think it captured that romantic appeal that Occupy Wall Street had to a lot of people, where it's these people are perceived as heroes by a lot of communities, and because they're taking this really corrupt system and using it to their benefit. Now, a lot of people have also criticized that because they said the issue is that system. You shouldn't participate in the system that exploits, people's debt. But Strike Debt's answer to that is sort of, this is what we're dealing with right now. We're going to use the system to our advantage, and we're going to abolish a lot of debt.
And I believe they what was it? They abolished $1 million of medical debt in where was it? Do you recall? I think Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the criticism you just brought up, but I mean, to me, that's something that you cannot look at that. And you cannot look at $1 million of medical debt wiped away from people who were stuck with this, who had it hanging over them. You can't call that nothing. I don't see how you can say Occupy didn't do anything, because right there is just one example of Occupy doing something from one of the offshoots.
Yeah, I agree that, like, for individual people, obviously that is very meaningful. I mean, how awesome would that be to get something in the mail that says, this thing that was really scary to you is no longer an issue. But at the same time, it also draws attention to this debt black market. It also draws attention to the fact that people are going bankrupt from, trying to afford medical care. It draws attention. It simultaneously helps people, and it draws attention to how corrupt our economic system is. And that seems, at least to me, like a win-win for Occupy Wall Street. Like, they get to look like the good guys, and they're also saying, this is why we originally, occupied Zuccotti Park. We're in opposition to this thing that still exists.
I mean, to me, that's the main thing for or at least to me. I mean, there were a lot of times when Occupy was, September to the end of November 2011, early December 2011, where you really felt like, wow, what's going to go on with this movement. But I mean, looking back, I mean, there's a lot of ways where the best thing this movement did was literally just raise the awareness. Like, if that's all it did, then it succeeded on every single level. I mean, that's just to me, actually.
Yeah.
And
it's gotten harder for them to do that, obviously, since the camps have all been crushed by the police for the most part. And that's another thing that, like, I feel like I should emphasize anytime I get a chance. Like, people are like, oh, Occupy died because everybody got bored and they went home. And it's like, no, the police crushed the movement.
Yeah,
like, they physically came in and, like, crushed the camp and took the tents down and beat the protesters until they left. That is what ultimately, there was a profile, I think it was in the New York Daily News, about the protesters who tried to go to trial and, like, oppose their arrests and oppose the police practices. And the legal system has literally crushed their will. Like, they've had to drop their lawsuits because they have jobs and, like, they have lives and they can't keep coming into Manhattan to, object to the same court case for now it's been 2 years since some of the arrests. And, like, it's enlightening, but it's also kind of like, man, it's disheartening because these are the people who are actually like, no, I want to go to trial. I actually want to oppose what happened to me. And it just could not happen for a lot of them.
I just want to bring that you brought that up. I just want to briefly bring up another piece that ran in the Nation this past week by Nathan Schneider called "Breaking Up with Occupy," and in it he just spoke with a number of Occupy activists, and it seemed like a lot of them just wanted to move on from Occupy. Like, they felt like it was just a dead name. They wished that the newer groups wouldn't use the Occupy name. One of the guys from Adbusters, Micah, I believe his name is, called Occupy a constructive failure. For those who aren't aware, Adbusters is the group that originally called for Occupy Wall Street, even before September 17th. So I just wanted to bring that up, how some Occupy activists seem to be a little bit just out of the Occupy name. They just don't even want to really associate with it because they feel like maybe take what we learned from Occupy, take what we took from Occupy, and just move on to different activist groups.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole idea behind Strike Debt. Strike Debt obviously doesn't have the Occupy in its name. But I love anytime Adbusters weighs in on something because I never once ran into anybody from Adbusters during an Occupy Wall Street protest. And I don't know anyone who has, but they still claim that they started the movement. I actually know a lot of activists as well who have gone on to do stuff like with the striking fast food workers, a lot of non-union collective action stuff, and they don't show up to these places like parading the Occupy banner. They're just sort of carrying the spirit with them, and I think that's the main takeaway, that we need to move away from the Occupy is dead narrative because the spirit that birthed that movement is still with us. If anything, the class divide has gotten worse since 2 years ago. things were not better, and those grievances don't magically go away. If you were buried under student debt 2 years ago, you're still buried under that debt. You're still mad about it, and you're still scared, and you're looking to channel that energy into something. And there are a lot of great organizers, a lot of really young, passionate people involved in the Occupy Wall Street movement. And I'm still in contact with a lot of them, and they're still doing organizing.
Interesting. I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, the problem is it's not centralized under a banner, so it's very easy for the establishment media to say it's gone now. And that's a real misunderstanding of what activism even means. But it's not surprising that the media has framed it that way, but it's just incorrect.
It's interesting you bring up the food strike, the fast food forward, the fast food strikers, and other groups like Defend the Dream, because I really do feel like I remember. I mean, I was in high school, early college in the early to mid 2000s, and I was interested in activism. I was definitely aware of things going on, but other than maybe the anti-war movement, no real activist group was really able to grab the media. And I feel like since Occupy, Occupy was the first one to really do so since then. And since Occupy, I feel like the media has given actually a lot more, still little, but a lot more than they would have before Occupy, to movements like, the Dreamers and the fast food workers. I really do feel like Occupy at least forced the media to cover these movements as little as they do, but still better than nothing.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, the media was criticized a lot for not taking seriously, for being very belittling about Occupy Wall Street, and at least, the so-called lefty media, like MSNBC at least, more left than, say, CNN, did respond to that, where, now they do cover fast food strikes, but it always takes, real serious on-the-ground organizing and good alternative media to first get the establishment media interested in it. And by the way, I want to add that Occupy Wall Street always lends, in most cases, a sort of secondary solidarity role to a lot of these organizational efforts, because the fast food strikers, that's 100% the workers. They have been fighting for this for so long and organizing really bravely and putting their jobs on the line. And if former occupiers show up to lend solidarity, that's great. But what I'm really glad that Occupy has never done is try to take credit for that and say, oh, well, what we did in Zuccotti inspired the workers, and that really gave them courage. And maybe that is true, but the workers are really on the front lines here, and it's nice to see people show up sort of anonymously and not say Occupy has arrived and try to steal the thunder of the moment.
Oh, I agree completely. Yeah, I really do think. We're on the eve of the second anniversary of Occupy. I'm speaking with Allison Kilkenny. She wrote this great piece in The Nation called "Occupy Activists: New Fight for Regulation, Affordable Housing, and Social Justice." And I do think the Occupy movement will be. I really do think we're going to be hearing about Occupy for a long time to come. I think all the next big movements, the next big activist groups, the next big activists who you will hear about and who will create real change, I do think when they discuss what sparked them or what got them interested, I do think you'll hear some of these people who are now young in their teens, 20s, 30s. I really do feel like years from now you will hear them say, the Occupy movement sort of sparked my interest in these sorts of things. And that's another Occupy success.
I agree.
Allison Kilkenny of Citizen Radio. Wow. That's wearecitizenradio.com.